Gonna make the profiles boom, 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 boom. What they is, I'm gonna tell you what it is, man. Over here, it's real talk, real life by a real one who really did that. What it ain't, bullshit. Added preservatives. We're not gonna get into fake stories here. We're gonna get into real life stories written by a current fucking real one. Bang, bang. Now, trip out. First and foremost, I want to say condolences to a good friend of mine, man, who lost a family member, and that's right off the top, man. That's first and foremost without being funny and none of that, man. He's a brother, man. He's rocked with me since day one. He showed me nothing but love. Respects to my brother, the Salinas Report out there. My heart is with you, bro. It's never been, hey, I'll never waver. With that being said, in a menudo style and direct fashion, I wanted to talk about something a little bit serious. I wanted to talk about the first time I ever met a Nuestra Familia member, a familiano in real life. The first time I ever came in contact with one, and I met a few of them, but this was the first time, Sasuke, and to say that I wasn't in awe would be frivolous and bullshit, and that'd be fake, man, because I was in awe. You got to understand, when you're a young, striving norteño, when you're part of that gang life, and it depends on whatever situation you find yourself in, whatever, if you're a Southsider, if you're a Crip, a Blood, a Wood, whatever the case may be, man, you're striving to become that one, right? The one on the hierarchy, the higher level. If you're not, I don't know what the fuck you're doing this for. So it ain't all that, right? But when you're a real striver and you're really trying to achieve and you really want to be that one, you go out of the realm, man. You do some extracurricular shit you necessarily wouldn't do, but you do it, right? To become that. So when you finally meet someone who has achieved that level, someone of elite status, someone who you only hear about but you hardly ever see, it's like meeting Shaq. If you're a Lakers fan, that's Shaq, right? Yeah, that's Shaq right there, bitch, in a real way, right? You know what I mean? Mr. Break them backboards himself. You feel some type of way. Can I get your autograph or some Shaq? I don't know. What is that? That's my people. Orale, icy hot. Orale. And then you do a pushing. Look. The first time that I ever laid my eyes on a real familiano was one day I was chilling in Turlock, California, and I was right there at my tío's pad. Now, my tío was an original Northern Structure member. Okay, someone from back in the day. I didn't even know nothing about the shit. All I knew is I wanted to be a young norteño. I wanted to come up in the game. This is before I was even a striver. This is when I was just getting accustomed to the gang politics and what was going on out there in the calles. And I had a red baño, and I thought I was somebody. I thought I was big badass, right? And my tío was lacing me up. He was giving me the good clecha, indoctrinating me with the good education, the good rundown of what it takes to really truly be a norteño. Not just to say you're one, but to live that life, be about that life, eat it, breathe it, speak it, right? He taught me, he taught me a lot, and I'll forever be indebted to him. Did I utilize it? Well, not all of it, obviously, right? But I did take in what he said, and I grasped it. And I ran with it, most definitely, and I found myself caught up in the situations that I was in, but it has made me the man I am today, so I can never knock it. And I will never knock it for the next man. I'm not here to poison. I'm here to say, do your thing, right? Just do it righteously. Now, I remember one time going to his pad, and he had just got out of Tracy prison. My tío was in and out of prison constantly my whole life. It was normal. The normality of the situation was like, it was like waking up in the morning and the sun coming up. You already know damn well the sun's going to be up, just like I already knew damn well my tío was going to be in and out of prison. That was a fact. Now growing up and knowing what I know, him making it out sometimes, I'm surprised because the way the Vato carried himself and the way he was in real life, I'm surprised that he ever done made it out. Right? But hey, that bag was too big out here for him not to make it. I'm not talking about the one that you put in your bolsita. I'm talking about the one you put in your spoon, right? He was trying to get out. He had issues, right? Anyways, without saying too much, I will tell you this, that he used to have vatos that would get in and out, old veteranos. They would get in and out of prison. These were his camaradas. These were his homeboys. And they'd always be right there on the porch. Homie, tamalias, like, dude, what's happening? If you should lose me. They'd be kicking back on his porch. So I'd meet a lot of new gente. And I remember one time, there was a vato there, big old Rocha. And I seen him and I was like, damn, who's this vato, right? At this time, I was a little bit older. I think I was 10, 11 years old. This is right before I got incarcerated in YA. So I was able to quite understand, how to treat people with respect. See, prior to that, I was a young kid, man. I didn't give a fuck. I didn't flick your ear and do it pushing, right? Didn't matter who you were. I thought it was bad. But now just getting a little bit older, a little bit colder by having the weight of the world on my shoulders, I knew exactly what time it was when I would see these guys. Hey, these guys were some buddies. And I remember running into the vault. He was sitting on my tío's porch. He had just got out. He still had his bolsa, meaning his parole fucking papers, probably his fucking all his write-ups or whatever he had, his letters, things that meant something to him, his pictures. He went straight from the bus to my tío's house because, of course, at that time, my tío had the black, right? We have the meats, utterly Arby's, but it wasn't meats, it was black. So anyways, he's over there chilling on the porch. They're chopping it up. And I remember I was getting a little lippy. I was clowning. And my tío just looked at me. And when he gave me that look, I knew I was in the presence of somebody beyond who I thought I was, right? And so when the vato ends up leaving, he's like, Orale, Holmes, I'm going to be catching this bus. I'm going to go back to Sanjo. Whatever, my tío told me, you know who that was? Nah, he said, that was an NF member. And I said, well, what does that mean, right? And he says, it means you shut up, right? You shut up when you're in the presence of guys like that. I mean, you show a little bit more class and a lot of professionalism and a whole lot of respect. And that was my first interaction with the NF member. To tell you the truth, I don't know exactly who he was, his name. But I know that the way he carried himself and just the aura and the presence was somebody that didn't fuck around. Somebody that was really that. He knew exactly what he was. He knew how to carry himself. He was very educated in this game, right? And I remember I felt that. I felt that even prior to my tío telling me that. But when he told me that, I was like, damn, I don't fucked up. He's going to think bad about me. He said, you're a little kid. He ain't tripping off you. But at the same time, you need to understand and educate yourself. And I'm here to give it to you to know that when you're around certain people, man, these people don't play. Okay, so that was my very first interaction with the Familiano. And I ain't gonna lie, man, I was in awe. The next time I ran into a real life Familiano, I had just got out of the California Youth Authority. By this time, I'm already fucking up on game. I already thought, in my mind, I thought I was a Familiano, right? I was already doing some shit and running some shit in CYA. I was a YA baby. I was about that action. I had my Mongolian on Tonpolian. I was getting out to the norte. I knew I was going to prison. I knew I was getting out to put in some work. I knew I was going to do dirt. It wasn't none of that bullshit. I wasn't getting out to become a better man and to go to church and do all that. I was coming out to gangbang. Straight up and to push my agenda, which at that time was north above all else. Period. I've been doing that for the last fucking 7 years. I intended to do it for the next 70. That was my mind state. That was my mindset. So I get out of fucking CYA in 1996, June. And of course, I'm embraced by all the homeboys. The canalismo is real. We're out there fucking wiggling and doing dirt, right? To what degree of dirt, I can't tell you because I don't want to go to prison, right now. So anyways, we were doing dirt. And I remember something was being passed called El Norte Law, right? There was things that were happening. The GUN album was about to come out. Shit was about to fucking take place. And I was about to have some interactions and come face to face with the real life Familiano. Now, to what degree of Familiano he ended up being, I think we all know, and I'll tell you that story. But at the same time, I was about to come face to face with a real one. So I'm out there, Merced, wiggling, kicking it back with certain homeboys and representing Dead End, the neighborhood at the time. We're probably the biggest neighborhood of Norteños. At that time, now things have changed. But at that time, we were doing our thing. We were well known. We were up and coming. Okay, the homeboys have been putting in their work. They have been going at it with the Merced Gangsta Crips and the North Side of Merced. So the funk was real. And I got right into the moving and the grooving of things. Groove with you on some Isley Brothers shit. I was in the mix, right? So I remember that we were asked if we wanted to be present at a park in Modesto, California, to which there was going to be a junta like no other. Now, I'm used to juntas. We used to have them at Dead End Park. We used to have them at homeboys' houses and backyards. Little hood juntas where we decided how much money we had, get a little this, a little bit of that. I can't speak too much on it. Let's just say we had juntas where we figured things out. Maybe put someone onto the hood, maybe kick someone out. To what degree of what we did, it's neither here nor there. But let's just say, just like every other barrio, every other turf, or every other hood, no matter where you're from, you have get-togethers, which are called juntas, meetings, basically, where you guys discuss some hood shit. So I remember I was invited this day, me and a couple homeboys, and every barrio was invited, which tripped me out because I was like, Sasuke, I ain't going over there. Them fucking vatos from opera are going to be there, so we don't get along. But I understood enough to know that when someone higher than us, basically the Nuestra Familia, is telling us to go to this meeting or giving us an invitation, Sasuke, you show up and show out. The pull-up is real, right? You better be ready to pull up and pop. This was going to be something different than I ever experienced. So I remember getting to this park in Modesto, and there being a lot of gente from everywhere. Of course, all the representatives from all the different barrios in Modesto, deep south side barrio, OGLs. We have autos from the east side of airport, west side Modesto, the west side boys. Four Corners was there, Stand Up, Bedrock, north side of Modesto. There was a lot of vatos there, vatos from Turlock, from fucking Salas, San Fran, Oakland, Tulare County, Stockton, Sacramento, a lot of different individuals. So I met a lot of homeboys. I was like, hey, this is tight, homes, right? I thought it was cool because I felt like I was back in the California Youth Authority where it's a lot of different homeboys from a lot of different places. Only these homeboys didn't fuck around, man, right? These were real ones, okay? I was just a young kid with the Mongolian, didn't know how to act. But a lot of these guys were well-laced in the game and they had been in and out of prison. To this point, I had not been in prison yet. So I was kind of just looking around like, oh, fuck, I was amazed. And I knew it was going to be some real shit. They had told me that a vato that had just been recently released, who was pushing a fucking hardcore agenda, who was a familiano, a well-established familiano, would be speaking to us and basically giving us the rules and regulations of what was going to happen in Northern California that day. And we were not to question it. See, when a familiano speaks, you don't question it. What you do is you grasp it and you fucking run with it. That's just what it is. And in menudo está in direct fashion, by no means do you think you can question the authority. By no means when you're doing this, when you're living that gang-related life, you will be told what to do by the next man. I'm sorry. Spencer, do you want to hold? You will be told what to do. It's just what it is. Well, hey, man, grown men don't get told what to do. Well, guess what, Holmes? Here's a news flash. Yes, they do. You know, you need to respect vatos who have been there and done that. That's just what it is. If you're going to be a gang member, if you're going to live that life, if you're going to be about that shine, then Sawasuke, you're going to have that understanding to know that two things are going to happen in your life. One, you're going to listen to the next man. And two, you're going to hoop a big ass pedazo, whether you like it or not. Well, I don't get down like that. Well, no, I do. Orale. There you go. You're going to get it in one way or the other. Period. So anyways, this day, I remember a lot of gente being there. We're chopping it up. We're talking to people. There's pistol. People are kicking back. And this vato, I remember seeing him, and he didn't look like much to me. Spence, I spit all over the place. He didn't look like much to me, but he was. And that was Guerito Grande, okay, from Modesto. And this was my first time. I had heard about the vato before this, prior to this. He had a big influence behind the GUN album and North Star Records. And so, and I remember, and I've told the story, running into all these vatos on Farmers Market in Merced on Main Street. They were walking down. They were handing out fucking flyers and T-shirts. They were pushing the GUN movement. And I remember him being there and seeing this vato. And I was like, oh, so this is Guerito Grande. So this is the vato everyone's talking about, who's basically running the show for all the norteños, okay? All the lower level street norteños, as well as the people that were embraced within regiments and were doing their thing. He was the one. He was the man. And I remember being in awe of him at that time because I hadn't ran into too many familianos. And if I had, I didn't know it, right? But I remember seeing him and I was just like, okay, so this is the one. And thinking in my mind, I mean, he doesn't look too much different from anyone else here, but he carried himself with a certain charisma, a certain aura. He had that aura, and that way he carried himself was like, can't no one fucking touch me, period. You know, it was kind of like the old mob movies, like Goodfellas and shit like that. He was a made man. When you're a made man, you're untouchable. Now, no one could touch you. So I get to what degree of touch you, so I get, that's on them. But he was Billy Bats in this shit, right? You couldn't touch him without repercussions being felt for those actions. And I remember him saying what he had to say, and I'm not going to sit here and go directly into everything that was spoken on that day. Let's just say the vato had a stern voice and he put it down, man. And I remember feeling a whole lot of canalismo and a whole lot of love and feeling like, damn, I'd have made it, man. I'd have made it to somewhere a lot of other norteños are only going to hear about in the historia. And that's absolutely correct, man. In the history, a lot of people have heard about this meeting that I'm talking about, and I actually was there. So I get to what degree of there? I was there, right? Straight up, man. I'll still remember it. I still smile when I think about it because I played that intricate part into that history. I was a piece of that puzzle that day. Okay, and that day, a lot of things got settled. A lot of issues got settled. Not just the one of, basically a North Law meeting, there will be no more red on red. Okay, to which that would be my demise eventually. But there was not going to be any more red on red. And that day in the city of Merced, it ceased to exist, man. There was no more red on red. We didn't get along and fucking shake hands and hug and fucking do all that shit. But at the same time, we knew what time it was. Everyone was going their own way and there will be no more fucking inner fighting amongst the Norte, period, that day. That was my first interaction and really getting to talk and shake the baisa of a fucking real familiano. And I felt some type of pride that it instilled in me. When I got to shake the vato's hand, he said, "¿Qué hubo?" He recognized me. I was recognized by a familiano. This is all I asked for. As a young norteño going through what I went through, and I went through a whole lot more than a lot of others did. So I said, fuck yeah, I did. Me, Spooquillo from Salas, Casitas, the homeboy Boo from Stockton, Soldier Boy from Stockton, Bad Boy, Shadow from Richmond, you know what I mean? Casas, fucking, a lot of different homeboys that were in that motherfucking mix, Baby Joker, just a lot of other homeboys that went to Nellis and had to establish and fight and claw and fucking scheme our way to the top. Man, we deserved our just due, I believed. You know, we made a lot of the necessary sacrifices that a lot of vatos nowadays don't have to make. It's easy to go get a motherfucking banger. It's easy to go get a cuete with a red rag, homies, and all of a sudden you're that one, right? But we had to fucking start with nada, homies, but boxers, socks, motherfucking jack flaps on, homies, and a whole lot of nothing coming but hard dick and bubble gum. And guess what? They was out of bubble gum, but I never got the hard dick, so I'm cool, right? But what I'm saying is, you understand where I'm coming from? There was a lot of toiling in that soil. There was a lot of turmoil and a lot of shit that we went through just to establish. Just to keep the Norte going, even down south. See, we are not like these guys that just pull up to do a rap video down south or pull up to do business, man. I commend them. I respect them for making that next move their best move. And I commend them and I respect them for going out of the motherfucking box and making business happen and getting to that bag. Man, they're doing something that we didn't even do. But at the same time, we were incarcerated down south, man. The struggle was real. Okay, so I felt like I had that coming. When I shake this vato's hand, this Baisa, this Familiano, I felt like a thunder cat. Orale. I felt like I had all the power of Lionel at that point, and I could say and do whatever the fuck I wanted to do. I felt like his power and everything that he had, he gave that to me. So I thought I was high powered for a while. That turned me into super norteño that day, and I ran with that. Now, over the years, I would become indoctrinated a little bit more, go in and out of prison and lay eyes and be in the oils with some well-known familianos. Vatos that are talked about to this day. And I can tell you every familiano that I ever ran into, they carried themselves with so much professionalism. I can't even identify or begin to identify with what goes in their mindset, with what goes behind them. Now, I've met a couple since I've got out, you know, and I talk to them all day, every day. You know, I talk to vatos like Sundown, who was a righteous familiano. Vatos like Rojo, who was a righteous familiano. Vatos like Big Boxer de San Fran, who was a righteous familiano. Vatos like Flaco, you know what I mean, the Mipas. Just certain individuals that carried that stature and got to that status. Now, it takes a lot to get there. It takes a lot to get there. And if you don't know, now you know. You know, people could say whatever you want, how your life ends up and what happens. But at the end of the day, not anybody could just get there. There's a lot of young men right now and a lot of young soldados that are striving to achieve that level, hoping that one day they can be pulled into that inner circle. Okay, and it's not for everybody. It's not everything that it's cracked up to be. Not everyone has, you know, the wherewithal, the mindset, the mentality, you know, to do that. It doesn't just take a motherfucking vato that's willing to pick up some steel and handle it. Anyone could do that. So I got a little fucking brother that's doing that every day. What it takes is a mentality, reasoning, you know, the know. You got to be in the know. They have to see something in you that's excellence, man. Something that shines just a little bit brighter than others. You know, I didn't have what it takes. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a very smart individual. Back in the days, I was with the fucking activities, the business. Hey, Gunner, we're going to go shoot somebody. No, we're not. Yeah, we are. Serio. No, we're not. Why? Because I done got him already, allegedly, right? This was my fucking mentality. I wasn't going to tell you to do anything or put you in a position that I wasn't willing to do so myself. Now, eventually, over time, as you get older, right, as you wisen up, as you realize, hey, maybe this ain't for me, then you take a little bit of a step back. And just that little bit of a step back is more than enough for you to realize you don't have what it takes to become a familiano. To become a familiano, you have to be dedicated to the fullest, to the motherfucking wheels fall off. Sasuke Dayton's, orderly Dayton's. Okay, and I've met a lot of them. And I can tell you, yes, each have their own attitude, but they carry themselves with that same stoic, fucking straight chief stature. You know, they're somebody's. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, Gun, well, fucking you fucked up. You could have been one. Nah, I probably never could have been one. Why? Because I didn't have the right mentality. See, I was doing things for the wrong reasons and didn't even know it. I was so dumb that I was really, truly dedicated to a cause and I didn't even know what the cause meant. And when vatos tried to give me the dictation and give me the education, I knew better, so I'm going to do better. You can't tell me shit. So I'm sitting here and tell you, yeah, I probably would have never achieved that level. I was happy with the level that I achieved within the gang realm that I was living, man. I became an hermano, right? I was functioning within the regiment in the city of Merced. That's a fucking fact. Stamp that. Reverse it is a word that, right? Anyone that was in the city of Merced will tell you at that time what I was doing and what I brought to the table. What I brought to the table was a lot of intelligence and a lot of, what do you call it? I was down. What the fuck? There's not even a word for it. I was willing to go that limit, right? To that extra mile. There was no limits. No limit soldier. I thought I told you. But at the same time, man, I didn't achieve nothing but being deemed for red on red eventually. And that was it. That was it. I stand in the situation I'm in now. For those of you that don't know my story, I'm going to tell the whole story here in a book pretty soon. I'm going to put it out there, detail for detail, motherfucking body for body. We're going to really get that in. But until then, Sasuke, we're just going to kick on back, and I'm going to look good rocking this motherfucking Vancouver Grizzly jersey. With that being said, that was my first interaction with real familianos, man. The first couple that I met, I've met many since then. And I will say that each one of them I met, I well respect. Doesn't matter how they ended up in their life, man. The respect will always be there to achieve that level of greatness and to achieve that level of being who you are within the gang life, man. There's nothing like it. Made men are to be respected no matter what. With that being said, man, I hope that you move fast with a purpose. I hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, I no longer rock the narrative for the North or the South, homes. I rock the narrative for the brown people. It's all about coming together as brown gente, man. There's a lot of us, man, that could be the metal, homes, in this brown movement push. You know what it is, man. All you got to do is have your voice heard, your voice felt, and be out there willing to go on that front line and be on that status. It is what it is. With that being said, hope you like this. Hit that like and subscribe. If not, you can hit that thumbs down. Heavy as the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle for what I truly believe in, which is the unity of the raza and the unity of all humanity and people. That's all we have at the end of the day. I'm the gun. Oh, I was interacting and shit. To what degree? Not the highest, though. Bang, bang.